It's Saturday, start of the training week, and today, if I'm being truthful, I've done absolutely zero training whatsoever. It's the start of the festive season. As you can see, I've got my festive jumper on, which means that it is the start of the festive season. And as a result, I'm starting to do a little bit more socialising as we approach Christmas. I obviously need to get the balance right because Europeans is only in a week or so's time. And therefore, I can't go too crazy because otherwise I'm just going to throw my swimming ability out the window right before one of my biggest events of the year. So I really want to do well at Europeans, so I need to make sure that I'm going in fighting fit. But at the same time, I also want to enjoy myself going into the Christmas period. So just need to get that balance right. Don't go too crazy on the socialising and partying front, while also not going too uber disciplined on the training, nutrition and that side of front as well. And truth be told, I'm not going to improve all that much in the space of a week or so, and therefore it's just more of a case of maintenance and trying to rest and regain energy so I go into Europeans feeling really fresh. So in some sense, a welcome opportunity to start enjoying myself a little bit more. Again, as it's 2 weeks to Lublin, or now less than 2 weeks to my first event in Lublin. Today is Saturday. I think it's, if you jump 2 weeks and then come back to a Thursday, that's when my first event is. So less than 2 weeks away. So I want to do a bit of a mini taper and not push myself too hard. So this is my last training week before I fly out. So keeping it relatively nice and easy. We'll go into a bit of a taper training week this week. And then when I arrive in Lublin, again, it'll just be doing some little sessions here and there just to get used to the pool out there and, just keep the feel for the water, the need for speed, as it were, and just enjoy myself. So just been doing a little bit of socialising as it comes up to the festive period today. Hopefully back in the pool tomorrow, and then we'll do some reasonably serious training over the course of next week. But yeah, we'll start to bring it back down prior into a taper before heading out to Europeans to make sure that I'm nice and fresh for that. So no training to report on today, just enjoying some time with friends and family. Sunday evening training session, and I went for an ad hoc endurance session because I'd eaten quite a lot over the weekend and feeling a little bit guilty about that, and so wanted to make up by burning off a few extra calories than I normally would do through a sprint session, and as a result went for an endurance session instead. So did some Norwegian 4x4s where ultimately I try and swim as far as I can / as fast as I can for 4 minutes, which is typically around the 300 meter mark for myself, holding 120 per 100 pace, then taking 4 minutes off and doing that 4 times through. So that's where you get 4x4s, 4 lots of 4 minutes working hard with 4 minutes rest in between. I managed to hold on to that pace of averaging 120 per 100 meters. I did it directly on 3 minutes for 2 of those 300s. I went a 3:56 for one of them, and then on the last one I went a 4:04 because I was really exhausted on that final one. It is quite a tough set, even though on paper it sounds relatively straightforward. Holding 120s isn't easy. It really isn't easy for 300 meters. So a good cardio session for me, a really good cardio session for me. And also I just feel as though my fitness has dipped somewhat over the past couple of weeks, and so just wanted to build it back up once more, hence the reason for this cardio set on a Sunday, looking to burn off the calories and just keep that endurance ticking over just a little bit more. Monday morning, and it was back on the sprints, moving into our taper before Europeans. So did a warm-up, not an awful lot special to it, a 400 loosen, doing a little bit of kick, also working on some underwater and turns just to get those right, get the feel for those going once again, and then did 4:35 meters max, not off any particular time, just when I felt ready to go again once more. So just trying to work on again, getting those underwaters right, getting the up kick on the underwater kicks and also the freestyle kick as well to try and generate more propulsion. And this seemed to be coming off because I was traveling further with fewer kicks underwater. So definitely something that I need to make a staple part of my stroke. And then also working on the tumble turn at speed and coming out the turn again with good underwater kicks, nice and powerful, and then that breakout before taking it easy for the rest of the 50. Hence why I'm not just going at 25, although I do definitely want to work on my top speed, which you want to be doing 50s and 25s for. I think trying to do those tumble turns for a short course meet, it's important that you do those at absolute speed / once you've done a 25, because doing a tumble turn when you're feeling fresh / you're not doing them at speed is a little bit different to actually doing it in a race environment. And therefore I think it's important that you sort of replicate that scenario. You need that quick decision making where you're coming into the wall fast, and yeah, also just you need to be feeling how you're going to feel in a race situation at that turn. Hence why I went in for the tumble turn and coming back out again, just to make sure that those keep getting practiced, keep getting ticking over, keep improving, and also on that underwater leg kick coming out of the turn, working on that up kick as well as that down kick to try and get more propulsion off each kick and travel further underwater. So really good session today. The taper for Europeans has begun. Yeah, just looking forward to it now. Got a few more sessions to close out the week, and yeah, just taking it easy, high intensity, low volume, making sure that I'm going into Europeans nice and fresh to give me a chance at those PBs for the 100 freestyle and the 50 fly. Tuesday, no training session due to a long work day, but Wednesday morning and snuck in a cheeky home workout, largely working on some barbell exercises, most notably my front squats, where I've managed to go up to doing 75 kg heels elevated for 2 squats and felt pretty good at that. I'm not the biggest fan of front squats. I just can't get can't get the bar loaded correctly on my front, which just makes it incredibly uncomfortable. So whilst I feel as though I've got more to give in my arms, the bar just doesn't feel stable, and therefore I don't feel comfortable lifting much heavier, if I'm being honest, or close to my peak. Although I've come to realise now that the front squat is meant to benefit the front of your leg, the quads. Sorry, I always have to think of which are quads and which are hamstrings. And in understanding that and actually trying to push through my quads, I felt a lot stronger about that today. So fingers crossed that's helped my front squat technique, and therefore is going to mean I'm going to be able to lift heavier. Otherwise, doing close grip bench press, yeah, nothing much of note there. Doing 2 sets of 2 for 60 and then 3 sets of 2 for 65. So going well. Overall, just a pretty standard and decent gym session. Again, getting used to the home gym once more. Have started a new phase of my workout plan. So as a result, I'm doing different exercises, just mixing things up a little bit in order to help that progression. But enjoying it. It's about time for a change. Doing well, and fingers crossed. Things keep on improving, and I keep getting used to the home gym, start to lift heavier and heavier. Thursday morning gym session at the gym this time, trying to get done all the exercises that I cannot do at home, and went very well. I'm getting better and better at becoming efficient at doing all of my exercises, both at home and at the gym, which is saving time and reducing stress on me, which is very good. Today, focusing on pull-ups, doing strength pull-ups, so that's sets of 2. So started off with a couple of bodyweight sets before moving to adding 2 kilogram weights for 2. I think, to be honest, I should be adding a little bit more weight than this because I can do reasonable amount more pull-ups than 2. So in future, I think in future weeks, just want to add a little bit more weight to that. But for this week, I just wanted to settle back into it because I hadn't done pull-ups in a while. And every time I do that, I just want to reassure myself that I can still do pull-ups because, yeah, they're probably one of the most difficult exercises that I do. Otherwise, just some bits on the cable machine, doing some cable rows to work my back muscles. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart. I can't remember which back muscles they are. It's not the lats, it's the, I can't remember. My brain's failing me this morning, so apologies for that one. Otherwise, just doing a little bit of mobility work where I've got a little bit more space in the gym, and some leg curls where you just want that bespoke equipment in the gym to help you with that, where it just costs a ridiculous amount for a single isolation machine. So naturally I haven't got one of those at home, and we'll continue to use the gym for that. But otherwise, a successful morning session and going well in the gym at the moment, so very much enjoying things. A rare Friday morning swim session to finish off the week. Was unable to train last night with the club due to personal circumstances, but did well today. A bit of a taper session to continue the theme of trying to maximize my energy for next week. So literally just a warm up and a couple of 35-meter sprints just to keep the feel, both for sprinting and doing tumble turns at speed, also working on underwaters as well. All went reasonably fine. Feeling a little bit sore from my gym session yesterday, which worries me a little bit on the basis that I probably should be feeling, a little bit less sore on the basis that this is a taper week. However, it is what it is, and my final gym session will be this afternoon to finish off the week, and it's 3 exercises. I've done most of my gym work this week, so thereafter it'll only be short, quick and easy swim sessions in the build up to my first race at Europeans, which is next Thursday. So Monday we're flying out, got 2 days, one to acclimatise and get used to the pool and just enjoy myself, essentially chill out and enjoy myself. Then Thursday we've got the 200 freestyle, the 50 fly. Friday's a day off. Saturday is the 50 free, and then Sunday is the 100 freestyle to end things. So very much looking forward to it. Hopefully I'm going to do well. Don't feel quite as good as I did for South Yorkshire Masters, but we'll just see how we get on. Hopefully the height of the occasion will spur me on to feel a bit better next week, and maybe once I'm out there I'll feel a bit better. Finishing final day of work also before flying out today, so hopefully that will de-stress things a little bit going into the competition, where I can then give it my sole focus. But otherwise feeling relatively good, and fingers crossed. A Friday lunchtime gym session to finish off the week. Not really an entire gym session, if I'm being quite honest. Doing some deadlifts, both of the double leg and single leg variety, as well as some dumbbell pullovers, so holding dumbbells over the back of your head, and then just some ankle pops, so essentially jumps where you're actually using your ankles as opposed to your knees to try and get some spring out of them. So yeah, good session, nothing really overall to note, and it's a good end to the week. That's the last gym session before Europeans. So I have one training session tomorrow, which is on the Saturday. Then I'll be flying out on the Monday after driving down to Luton on the Sunday. Tuesday, the plan is to get in the pool, do a little bit of a warm-up / get used to the competition pool before my first race on Thursday, which is the 200 meters freestyle. Second race being the 50 fly. on Thursday as well. I get a day off on Friday, and then it's the 50 free on Saturday and the 100 free on Sunday before flying back the following Monday. So quite a busy week, but a reasonable amount of time to explore Lublin in and amongst that. I'm super excited for that and generally cannot wait. That is it for today's video, and if you've enjoyed it, please give it a like. Remember to follow and subscribe for more swimming content. And to swim faster on limited training time, head on over to westcough.com. Otherwise, see you in the next video.